Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. This is Making Life Art, a YouTube channel all about learning how to fall deeply in love with your life. I have not done a YouTube video in so long, and I want to say I'm so sorry to those of you who have been watching me for a while. I know I've been slacking and I apologize. This past month has been very, I don't want to say taxing, but just it's been a little bit harder on my mental health for a variety of reasons. I talk about it more on my podcast, so if you're interested at all, then I have my podcast linked below. But today what we're talking about is manifesting your dream life. You can have the life of your dreams. You can jump into the reality that is meant for you, that is going to be for your highest good. You can have everything you want, but in order for that to happen, you've got to take some action. First, I thought I'd talk about what I've manifested so far. I think that is something that is really important to consider when you are manifesting your next big thing. Now, if you're new to manifesting and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? What is manifestation? Basically what it is believing that you already have the thing that you desire. So let's say you want your dream house and you want to emulate the feeling that you would have if you did have that dream house, act how you would act if you had that dream house, be who you would be with that dream house. You are trying to feel like you have it right now, and then when you believe it enough, you can convince your brain that you already have that thing, and then you're in the right vibration to actually receive said thing. So if you've manifested before and you're trying to manifest something new, a good thing to do that I hadn't really thought about for a while is listing the things you've already manifested, even if you didn't do it on purpose. Then that can really put you in that vibration of gratitude for the things that you have already been able to make happen. So I'm gonna tell you what I've manifested so far, and what I'm manifesting now I feel like is gonna be even better and come through in an even more beautiful way because I have added so many more new techniques than from when I was first manifesting. So I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it. I feel like I've grown my knowledge in that area. Even before I really dove really deep into manifestation, I was able to manifest some pretty cool things. One thing I manifested was when I lived in Utah, I manifested a beautiful apartment with this amazing view. I always wanted to live in an apartment with a beautiful view of like the city and the mountains, and I wanted it so bad, and I was vision boarding it, I was thinking about it, and randomly this apartment fell into our lap. We would not have even known it existed if it weren't for the fact that my fiance had to walk home from work on this one random day, and he just so happened to be walking by this apartment and thought, oh my god, like that's the apartment. And that was a wonderful, crazy thing that we kind of like manifested together. At my old job back in Utah, I manifested becoming a master stylist at my salon. The master stylist is the highest level of stylist that you can get to. When I first started there, I did not think that I would ever make it to master. I really did not. I was not sure that I was ever going to get there. I was really working on not even necessarily manifesting that level of stylist, but I was trying to manifest success and money. And that position just kind of fell into my lap when I started really working on manifesting abundance as far as finances go. So I was able to make a lot more money drop into my life because I got that position, and I was working on that through various manifestation techniques. The apartment I'm in now, I manifested. I had this vision when I would do visualization exercises. So visualization exercises when you're visualizing the thing you want, you're visualizing how it looks. And I really wanted to move to Florida, which is another thing I manifested, moving to Florida. I live in Florida now. I used to live in Utah. I would visualize this apartment palm tree outside of my window, and where I live now has that exact view I saw in my visualizations of a palm tree right outside the window. So I manifested the apartment we're in now. It also had an angel number on the door. That was a really cool synchronicity. It just kind of confirmed that I was where I needed to be. My job right now, I manifested. I wanted to work where I work now since I was a kid, and I didn't intentionally manifest this. This was something that I wanted when I was a kid. It was a dream of mine. What this job is it's working as a fairy godmother's apprentice at Walt Disney World. When I moved here, I was not even planning on working for Disney. I did not know where I was gonna work, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to work for Disney or not. And then I just kind of had this idea of like, I could work at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Like, that's what I've been wanting to do for a while. I'd been hearing from people that I had to get my foot in the door with Disney and work at a different location first. So I did that. And then I randomly just happened to talk to someone who applied for Bibbidi Bobbidi, and she let me know that I could apply for it and that I could try to transfer to it sooner than I thought I'd be able to. I start putting in my transfer. I get an interview, I do the interview, things go well, I get the job. But I'm on a wait list, and the person who interviewed me is like, it could be a year, it could be any amount of time. I have no idea when you're actually gonna get this position. I'm thinking this is a far out thing, but I, at this point, am putting a lot of energy towards it and thinking, you know, this is what I want. This is my next thing that I want. The next month, I got the email that I was transferring, and now I work at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I sort of accidentally manifested that one. I kind of manifested it more on purpose when I knew I got the job, but wasn't sure when I was gonna work. I just like sped that process up. Another thing I manifested is getting engaged. I had a ring on my vision board for moving to Florida. I put it on there kind of on a whim, like I want to get engaged when I move to Florida, but I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there to the universe, and I put it on the vision board, and then honestly I could not have seen it coming. Like we got engaged, and this series of events really led us to that, and it was really beautiful, and now I'm engaged. I had the ring on my vision board, kind of put it on there based off of a feeling, thinking, you know, this is just gonna kind of work out in the way it's supposed to, and it did. One thing to think about with manifestations is they usually kind of come through when you're least expecting it. They kind of come through in the way that you don't expect. You can't always control the how, you can't always control the when, but you can manifest your dream reality. But the most important thing to remember is that you are not in charge of how it happens, not in charge of when it happens. That is all up to the universe, and it is going to happen in the way that it is supposed to happen. So let's get into some methods for manifestation, some tips, some actionable steps. I love to build manifesting into my routines. Where your attention goes, energy flows. I don't know if you've heard that saying before, but if you're not actively working towards something, it's just not gonna happen, right? I was listening to the Big Conversations podcast with Hoffman. I will link it below, and I'll also put it right here so you can see it. She was talking about a story she heard of this man, and he would go to this wishing statue, or like wishing well with a statue. He would make a wish. He would go to this wishing well, and he would make a wish to win the lottery. He'd say, I wanna win the lottery. I wanna win the lottery. I wanna win the lottery. The statue starts to get really annoyed with this man, always asking to win the lottery. And he comes to life and says, if you want to win the lottery, just buy a ticket. The man was saying, I want to win the lottery, but he'd never bought a lottery ticket. How is his manifestation going to come through? How is his wish going to come true if he's not taking the steps to buy the ticket? Make sure you're buying the ticket, like actionable steps. So this is why building manifestation methods into your routine so that you're doing something every day to work towards it is so helpful. Now, you don't want to be focusing on your manifestation so much that you're giving it too much attention and too much energy. Like, that's not the point, because then you're in that energy of desperation. Then you're in an energy of wanting, versus you want to be in an energy of receiving. You want to be in an energy of gratitude, of feeling like you already have that thing that you're trying to manifest. How do I build these manifestation techniques into my routine without putting myself in an energy of I want. One thing is meditation. I love meditation, and I don't always meditate on my manifestations. I meditate on all kinds of things. Your manifestations are gonna come true a lot faster if you are putting yourself in the right headspace, yeah, with your manifestations, but just in general. If you're trying to manifest something so hard, but your headspace is so depressed or anxious, and it might not even have to do with this manifestation. You're depressed or anxious for another reason, but you're also trying to manifest this thing. It's gonna be really hard for you to manifest that thing if you're in an energy that's just not a high vibration. And I want to preface that by saying you are not going to be in a high vibration all the time. That's not realistic. We're all human, right? Like, there's a reason I haven't been filming in forever. I have not been in a high vibration. So it's okay, but it's just something to think about. Like, you want to be putting yourself in a higher vibration, and so you've got to be doing the work to work through some of your shadow stuff. Like, you got to do the shadow work in order to get to where you want to go. And now, if you don't know what shadow work is, that is a whole other topic that I could do a full video on. But shadow work, essentially in a nutshell, is when you work through the parts of yourself that need to be healed, the darker parts, the parts you don't want to look at, the parts that you are pushing aside. If you're pushing things to the side, it's building up, and that buildup can be what's standing between you and your dream life. Meditate on something that's bugging you, you know, check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, because that is a very important step in the manifestation process, is getting to know yourself and loving yourself and putting yourself in a vibration of really light energy. Every morning I do affirmations, and lately what I've been doing is tapping with my affirmations. So I'll say an affirmation and I will tap a pressure point in my body. It's called EFT tapping. You can look into it if you would like. It is really amazing. I highly recommend it. You can look it up and see what pressure points work best for you. But essentially what it is it's kind of like acupuncture, except for instead of needles, you're using your fingers to tap. It is so helpful, and it can really solidify some of these beliefs that you're saying with your affirmations. That can solidify them in your mind and your heart and your soul. Some affirmations I like to use are, I'm a magnet for wealth, abundance, and success. Or I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Good things are always coming to me. There are so many affirmations out there. I think the best thing to do is find which ones work best for you, and honestly come up with some of your own. Like, it's good to look at other people's as well and find ones that align with you, but really tailor it to you and tailor it to what you're manifesting. Let's say I want to manifest my dream job. Instead of just saying something that's really vague, like, oh, I'm successful in all my career endeavors, I can say my dream job is to be a firefighter. I can say, I am brave, I am strong, I am a firefighter. You know, like something along those lines. That's probably not a great example, but just tailor it to you and tailor it to your specific manifestations. Especially if that's the way that you manifest the best. We're all different human beings, and we all manifest in different ways. And so making sure that it's something that really works for you and feels good in your body. You've probably heard about how beneficial journaling is, and especially how beneficial it is to journal things you're grateful for. I have a manifestation journal and I have a gratitude journal. I write down 3 things I'm grateful for every day. What I am really working on manifesting right now is growing my audience on social media so that it can be my main stream of income eventually. So what I can write down in my manifestation journal is, I am so grateful now that my main stream of income comes from social media. That's something I can write in my manifestation journal. You could do manifesting scripting. What that is when you are essentially writing out what your life would look like if you had what you're trying to manifest, but you write it as if it's in the present tense. Like, I wake up, I grab my coffee, I get into my dream car, you know, like more specific than that, but just to give you an idea. So that's a method you can use. The 369 method is where you write down 3 times what you want to manifest, basically what your desire is, and you write it in the present tense. Then 6 times you're gonna write down what your intention is with this manifestation. Don't be afraid to get really specific if it's aligning to you, and don't be afraid to get really broad if that's what's aligning for you. Sometimes I find that if I leave a little bit more space, it's helpful for me. If I and more talking about the feeling I want to have once I have this thing versus actually talking about the thing. But sometimes it works better if you're specific. I've also found that sometimes that works better for me. It just depends. And then 9 times you write the outcome. So that's a method that you can use for manifestation when you're journaling. Some people will do a manifestation jar where they'll write down all of the things they're trying to manifest and put it in a jar. I don't want to say that there's not a wrong way to do it, because I'm sure there is a wrong way if you know, we're focusing on the negative too much or putting yourself in an energy of desperation. But it's really hard to do this wrong. Like, you can really tailor it to you and make it really specific and unique to who you are and what you're trying to manifest. I have this manifestation best ways to manifest pin on my Pinterest board, so I'm gonna like talk about a couple things on this that I haven't thought about, that I haven't done yet. The pillow method is where you write down your manifestation on a piece of paper and you put it under your pillow. I have not tried that yet, but I think that'd be even more powerful if you put it with like a crystal under your pillow. That would be awesome. I think moss agate is really powerful for manifestations, if I remember right. I am a crystal girly, but not a super crystal girly, so I know what some of the crystals do, but I'm not super well versed in them. I'm pretty sure moss agate is really good for manifestation, and citrine is good for manifesting abundance. So some of those crystals, but do your own research. I am not a crystal expert by any means. This one is one I have not done yet. It's called the 17 seconds technique, and you focus on a thought for 17 seconds, because when you do that, you activate the vibration of the thought and begin the attracting process. That's interesting too, because if you think about like other things, like I know I've thought about some not great stuff for 17 seconds. Like I've thought about the bad things that can happen for 17 seconds, and then I could be manifesting something I don't want into my reality. So it's important to think about where your attention goes, energy flows in more ways than one, like even in the not so great way. So if you're focusing on the bad and you're focusing on that for an extended period of time, like 17 seconds or longer, this is saying that it will put you in an energy of attracting that. So when you have those thoughts come up, try to detach from them, accept them for what they are, and don't just push them off, because you don't want to just be adding onto a pile of buildup. But what you do want to do is let them go. Like, give them the respect they deserve and say, okay, I'm feeling this way. This is why I'm feeling this way. And now I'm going to observe you, and now I'm just going to let you pass. But with manifesting, if you're putting your thought into something for 17 seconds, then you put yourself in that great vibration for that. So, you know, maybe set a timer for 17 seconds and just kind of think about that. I feel like I, will do visualizations though that last a lot longer than 17 seconds. So I don't necessarily know if I would really use this one, but it's a good thing to think about. Now, this one is the 55 by 5 manifestation process. You write your affirmation 55 times for 5 days to manifest your desire. Helps you become a vibrational match for what you want to attract in your life. It's a good idea. That's a lot of writing though, 55 times. Wow, I haven't tried that one because I just feel like that's a lot of time that I don't feel like I have. But all ideas, that you don't have to do all of these. You can pick whatever works for you. You don't have to do any of these. You want to tailor it to you. I also do 3 pages of a book every morning, depending on what the book is. Sometimes I'll do less, sometimes I'll do more, but I do a little bit of reading every morning. And usually I read books that are, even if they're not about manifesting, they're along the same lines. Psychology, self-growth, bettering myself in some way, meditation, just different things that are gonna put me in a really high vibration. Those are the books that I try to read. Now, fiction is still really good for your brain, so you can do that if you want. For me personally, I like to read books about manifesting and about how to put myself in that higher vibration, books that can teach me how to be a better person so that I can really become the highest version of myself. Those are all things that I've incorporated into my morning routine. My night routine is a little rocky, but I am planning on doing my night routine with you guys on the vlog tonight so that I can hopefully stick to what I say I'm gonna do. And we'll kind of talk about manifestation techniques that you can incorporate during the night. This is obviously just what I do. Do your own thing, you can switch these around. You can do your tapping at night. You can do any of these whenever you want. I'm just telling you what I do. I think maybe the most important part of manifesting is gratitude. And so remembering to be grateful for what you have and what you've manifested already. being grateful that you are where you are and that you've learned so much in your life and that you're at this point. Because how can we expect the universe to give us what we want if we're not grateful for what it's given us already? You've got to show the universe that you can be trusted with these manifestations. It's not always going to come in the way that you think. This is something that I tell some of the kids at Bibbidi Bobbidi where I work. We have this wishing pixie polish and we paint the kids' nails, and for every nail we paint they get a wish. One thing I say sometimes is sometimes wishes take longer to happen when they're bigger wishes. Sometimes they're not going to happen when you think they're gonna happen. And sometimes they're not gonna happen in the way you think they're gonna happen. So think about it that way for yourself too. Like, it might not come true in the way you think. You've gotta leave room for the universe to help you out. Like, you've gotta leave room to be surprised, leave room for adventure and excitement. You don't wanna know everything that's coming all the time. So it might not come true in the way you think it's going to. It might surprise you. The universe has got your back. You can let go, you can let it take the wheel and just breathe. And that is a good feeling. Of course, when you're a Capricorn like me, sometimes you want to just take that wheel back and be like, let me just show you where I want to go. But it's so much nicer to just let go, let whatever happens needs to happen. Let whatever needs to happen. Let whatever that needs to happen happen. Let the universe surprise you. I think gratitude is a big part of like romanticizing your life. That's basically what this whole YouTube channel is about making our lives feel like art, romanticizing our lives, finding the beauty and the joy in everything, saying thank you to the universe, to those around you, to yourself. Another thing that is really important, I think, is being aware of what you're consuming. I don't want this to come across as me saying only consume good things, only consume, you know, all the light, happy, airy things. I still will watch like true crime or listen to a true crime podcast. You know, that's not high vibration really. You know, sometimes I will listen to music that's really sad because I feel like I need to cry or I need to get an emotion out. It's not all or nothing. But as a general rule, I'll listen to more high vibrational music. I'll watch things that aren't, you know, putting me in a low vibration or making me feel down or making me feel sad. I will listen to podcasts that are really uplifting and help me with these things so that I can incorporate more techniques, so that I can grow my mind and gain more knowledge in so many areas. There are so many podcasts that help with manifestation, self-love, and just feeling like the luckiest person in the world, health, wellness. You know, I listen to a lot of self-growth podcasts. They're not all about manifestation, but I'll link like my top 5 down below just so that you can, you know, have a place to start if you're looking for manifestation, self-love, self-help podcasts. And I have my own podcast where I talk about all of this stuff too. So make sure you listen to that one and follow that podcast. But those are all things that can really help. To me, self-care is a very important part of the manifestation process. I am gonna do my skincare routine since it's getting pretty late over here. But I feel like there are 3 components when it comes to manifestation and living a very balanced life, and those components are mind, body, and spirit. They all go hand in hand. If your higher self is someone who eats salads for lunch all the time, like, you know, and you are eating Chick-fil-A every day for lunch, I'm not saying you have to give up the Chick-fil-A, but maybe don't eat it every day. You know, maybe get the salad more often. Maybe your higher self is someone who has the 80-20 balance, and that's what I want my higher self to be, where 80% of the time she's eating healthy, she is, you know, sticking with her good habits and being that girl, but also like I feel like there needs to be room for balance. And so she still gets a bag of Takis every now and again. She still eats pizza. Right now, it's not really an 80-20 balance. I feel like it's more like 60-40, and the 60 is the bad stuff. I'm working on it. With my skin, if I forget to wash my face, I notice a difference for like a while after that day, which is crazy. And I feel like it's the same thing with manifestation. It's okay if you fall off the wagon every once in a while, but if you're consistently falling off the wagon and not sticking with your good habits, then it's gonna be really hard to manifest your dream reality. I am still learning and growing, and I am not perfect with that one at all. Got a lot more progress to make, but the important thing is that we're trying. This is the Tony Moly sheet mask, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I love Tony Moly sheet masks. This one is the clear skin one. It's the I Am Rice. I use like the rest of the serum on my neck. I'm gonna make a chai tea, which I know sounds crazy because do I really need caffeine at 10:14 at night? Probably not. Lately, I've just been feeling a lot more creative and vibey at night. Romanticizing your life really goes into manifesting because you want to enjoy your life where you are now, and that's how you're gonna manifest your dream reality. Enjoying where you are right now in your life and romanticizing it, falling in love with it, falling in love with the process. I romanticize everything. Now I have some candles going, some lamps, just a really cozy mood. Sometimes I put on jazz music. Sometimes I put on my manifesting playlist. I have a playlist that is all very like high vibrational music and affirmations, that type of thing. The couch isn't like made, but you know, this is the vibe. We've got the crystal lamp, we've got this lamp, we've got our candles lit. I like to romanticize the season I'm in, like it's about to be fall, so I want to like really be in fall, falling in love with fall, and romanticizing the season of life that you're in, you know, because we all have these different like journeys and phases in life, and there's pros and cons to every phase of your life, but just kind of trying to find the good and enjoy it because, you know, you're not going to be in this phase of your life forever, so there's going to be parts of it that you might miss. Another thing I wanted to mention is acting and dressing and doing everything as your higher self would. But like if your closet does not align with what you want your higher self to wear in the future, then maybe do a purge, sell some clothes, and maybe go thrifting, you know, maybe order a new closet online. And I was like really trying to zero in on who I wanted to be and like what my higher self like looked like for me. What I did was a lot of visualization exercises, but I did a lot of vision boarding too, and like pinning different outfits that felt more like the highest version of me, like what I wanted to dress like in the future. I really struggled with confidence for a while, so a lot of what I was trying to do with like my visualizations and what I saw my higher self to be was like wearing really confident outfits that made me think like, oh wow, like if I saw someone wearing it, I'd think, wow, she is confident, she knows herself, she knows what she's doing. There's also a lot of tricks for trying to trick your brain into thinking you already have that thing and thinking you're already in that place in your life. There's so many ways to trick your brain with that. One example would be, let's say that, you know, in the future I want to work from home, and that's like my goal. Say that that's my goal. I want to work from home. I want to have a cozy little office space, and let's say that I'm doing a visualization of what I want my future life to look like and what I want my future job to look like. And in this visualization, there is this cute little office. I visualized the office. It's got plants everywhere. There's this really cute chair. Let's say I can't have that cute little office space right now, but what I could do is maybe order the chair. Then I'd have one piece of that manifestation visualization. Then I'm really tricking my brain into thinking that that's something that I already have, because I'm already seeing it in my space. I can see it start to come together. When I say think about like what you would want your higher self to be, I mean get specific. Like, are they a morning person? Are they a night person? Like, what kind of habits do they have? Those are all very important things, and hence why I'm trying to incorporate more of a night routine, because I feel like my higher self has a night routine and a morning routine, and she has a lot of really good habits, and she follows the 80-20 rule. Try to incorporate that stuff in your life now and see how much you can start doing now, even if it's just a few small things like, you know, an office chair. It's actually a full moon tonight, so it's so funny and so cool that I am doing this video today, because full moons are really good energy for like manifesting your dreams. This is my chai tea latte with cinnamon. This is a good example of how I romanticize like the little things, okay? So like I've got my chai tea, right? And I have high frequency music, or certain frequency music. There's like different frequencies that are helpful with manifestation, or like you can look up frequencies for different things. So you can like look up frequencies for abundance, for prosperity, you know, just different things. So I've got a manifestation frequency on in the background, and I'm making my grocery list. So like this would normally be like a boring, mundane thing to like make your grocery list, but I've got the frequency music, I've got my tea, it's a vibe. Got all the crystals out here, ready to charge. Tonight feels like a yoga night, especially because like the full moon. The yoga flow I'm doing is called 20 Minutes Inspiring Yoga Flow, Manifest Plus Flow. I'll link the video below if anyone is interested. We are gonna do my skincare for the night. I do a lot of vision boarding, and you do not have to do the same thing that I do, but I'll put a few of my vision boards here as I talk about them. I do them all on Pinterest. I mean, who doesn't use Pinterest for vision boarding? It is amazing if you're not doing that. It's so much fun. I love it. And vision boarding is just the best. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically just finding pictures of what you want in your dream life and putting it in a board. Or you could make a collage. There's so many ways to vision board, but I like doing it on Pinterest, and I have a vision board called Her, and that one is my vision board of basically like what I envision my higher self to be and what I want for like my future. And then I also have a vision board for the year. This is my opinion, this is how I see it. Because the universe isn't necessarily going to give you what you want in a certain amount of time, at least that's never how manifesting works for me. I don't feel like time is something that you're really in control of. If I'm making a vision board for 2023 and not all of it comes true, like the whole point of the vision board isn't to make sure it comes true that year. Why I do it is like, these are my like goals, my aspirations, and it'd be nice if they happened in 2023, but it's just so that I can be thinking about those things. The whole point of vision boarding isn't to discourage you or say like, oh, this has to be done by this time. It's just fun. Like, this is all supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful or overwhelming. Like, it's supposed to be fun. So make it fun. I make a vision board for every month just because I like to plan what type of month it's gonna be. You know, like October is gonna be filled with like fall things, fall activities. If I have one month where people are coming to visit, we're probably gonna be going to Disney. There's gonna be like Disney pictures in my board for that month. You can like really run with this and do whatever you want. I will link my Pinterest down below if you want to see more of my boards, because I just love Pinterest so much. I think I mentioned media consumption, but one thing that I didn't really mention was like social media consumption. I'm very careful about who I follow. Having red light before bed, like being in red light, is supposed to be really helpful for getting to sleep. So I've been trying to put on like my red light before I go to bed. Oh, it's not plugged in. I was like, why isn't this working? I went to Barnes & Noble and this book was calling to me. This is it. It is called The Creative Act, A Way of Being. The other one I'm reading is The Body Keeps the Score. And that one is just hard to read because it's very sad. Blue light glasses is also something I want to start incorporating before bed, but these ones are just like really annoying to look through, and I feel like I've cleaned them so much and they're still so annoying. Tonight, I think I'm gonna try the pillow manifestation method because it's a full moon. It feels like the perfect night to do that. But I'm gonna start with reading this book and see what that's all about. Guys, I can already tell this book is perfect. I was hoping it would like inspire me, and I think that's exactly what it's gonna do. You have to listen to this passage. I'm gonna link this book in case anyone wants to read it, because now I'm like, I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. Attuned choice by attuned choice, your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. I have no words. And it's beautiful too. She's pretty. So now I'm gonna do the pillow method, which is where you write down what your manifestation is and then you put it under your pillow. Such a cute idea, especially the night of the full moon. But what I am gonna do is finish my grocery list, and then I will do some visualization, because that I want to be part of my night routine is visualization as I go to bed. And maybe I'll put like some high frequency music or something hurts music. The hertz just depends on like what you're trying to do. I don't know a ton about like frequencies, but I do know that they're very helpful in putting you in the right vibration to manifest your desires. These are all just tools that I share that have helped me. I'm gonna turn the lamp off so that I can just be in the red light. Look how cute Hexy Girl is. It's so hard to see me because of the red light, but I got the groceries done. I haven't ordered them, but I just like have the cart all ready. I am going to do some visualizations as I go to sleep and listen to my manifest playlist. One thing that has been helpful for me is thinking about a few different visualizations. So I learned this also on the Big Conversations podcast with Haley Hoffman Smith. She is amazing, you guys. So she talks about how it's helpful if you can come up with a few scenarios on how you're going to manifest your goal. So like you could say, you know, your dream house. You want to buy a dream house. So you could like visualize that happens in an out of the blue way, and you just happen upon this house while you're taking a hot girl walk, and it just happens to be in the price range, and it's this crazy thing. And then you also visualize a different scenario where you're looking on Zillow and it pops up on Zillow and there's some angel numbers that are in the price and it just lines up. Like you can do a few different versions of the how, because we can't predict the how. We don't know how our dreams are going to manifest. What is helpful though is visualizing. So how do we visualize without getting too attached to the how? Visualizing different scenarios, and then you're not attached to anything. It's just like, wow, like so many things could happen. It's just kind of like a brain exercise. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. It was really fun to do, especially on the day of the full moon. That was just so beautiful and such a cool synchronicity. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend if there's someone that you think would really like it, and give it a like and subscribe if you liked what you heard, liked what you saw. I'll see you next time. Bye.